Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another fairy tale video, and I'm going to be going over some things that were potentially forgotten about in the story. Hopefully some of these things get added in the future, and 100 Year Quest has been constantly, going back to old arcs and, bringing up, forgotten subplots. In this video, I'm not going to spoil any details of 100 Year Quest, but certain things that I didn't include, they probably got answered in 100 Year Quest. The first forgotten detail to me is Raventail / Ivan or Makarov's son. At least after like Phantom Lord and up to the Grand Magic Games, you always got this like little subplot with Gajiel spying on them, and that really didn't go anywhere. I mean, obviously Ivan was really obsessed with the Lumen Histoire. I don't think you need to go back to it, but I would be interested into why, Ivan went kind of crazy over that, and, what kind of made him go so crazy to, eventually get disbanded from the guild. I think it was kind of just interesting because Raventail was mostly considered a dark guild, but then obviously in the Grand Magic Games they got in and they were actually a legit guild. It wouldn't shock me though, like in 100 Year Quest, if Ivan shows up at some point. I mean, the thing that he really wanted doesn't entirely exist anymore. It wouldn't shock me if he showed up again, because I imagine he still has a grudge at least against Fairy Tail for, basically humiliating him and having his guild disband after the Grand Magic Games. I never know how to pronounce these, but it's the 18 War Gods. I'm pretty sure you had Minerva mention them in the Grand Magic Games, but you had a full-blown one show up during the Avatar arc. I will say, if you're basing the War God's power off the one that shows up in Avatar, wow, they would be a mega disappointment. But like, if that was on the weaker end of the War Gods, it'd be kind of interesting to have them show up again. I don't know. I mean, you got dragons, you got demons. I guess additionally, War Gods could be a very different subplot, I guess. If there's supposed to be 18 of them as well, and you had one get killed, so there'd be technically 17 now. Like, who owns them? Who can call upon them? How do they work? I really don't know if it's like a subplot that they would ever go back to, because like, do you need to explain War Gods? This one I thought about when I was making the Fairy Tale Demons video during October, but I wonder if like early on Hiromashima was gonna do kind of a religious / demon subplot, aka you have the demons on Galuna Island. They're unable to enter that holy temple or the moon trip temple on the island, and you obviously have like other religious kind of imagery, because you have Gray always having the cross necklace. You have the Heart Crux logo, which is kind of a cross. If you're going into later Fairy Tale, I mean, you had the whole filler arc with the church and whatnot. I mean, most of that is from early Fairy Tale, and at that point it was still figuring out what it was going to be, and you had a lot of traits that characters dropped. Like early on, Gray was smoking in the manga, and obviously he doesn't smoke, in current story. And obviously you have a bunch of demons throughout the whole story, and the opposite of that would be like angels, which the only angel we have in the story is Angel, but like not in the traditional sense you get like regular angels. This one I am almost certain it will be answered in 100 Year Quest, but that would be Lucy finding Aquarius's key. If you're going off a regular Fairy Tale, obviously that was like left behind, but I am almost 100% certain you're going to get Lucy finding Aquarius's key at some point in 100 Year Quest. If you don't have it by the end of 100 Year Quest, I'm going to be absolutely baffled that they never addressed that. I mean, obviously you got like a ton of characters and stuff that were forgotten about throughout the story. I mean, for example, like the Element 4 from Phantom Lord. The only like one we know about is Juvia, but the other 3 that were part of the Element 4 are like nowhere to be heard of. I wouldn't expect them to ever show up, like they're a defeated guild. Like, let's move on. We don't need to go back to them. Otherwise, what are some other forgotten things that I might have missed throughout the Fairy Tale story? Leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.